Okay, welcome to the April 6, 2020 regular council meeting. A little bit of technology at work today. There's just a couple people at City Hall. All the councilors are at home and attending, and we're using Microsoft Teams, and we're hooked up to YouTube, and that's where the press, the CKDM and Dauphin Herald are listening in, and also people from the public can join in on YouTube, I think, to hear us. First of all, a couple things. I notice a lot of people are on mute, and that's good. If you want to speak, just indicate, and then take yourself off mute first before you want to speak. And also, we will have councillor privileges today, and I sent an email out. Please keep it to the point and brief, just so we just want your mainly council activities and not what you had for breakfast today. What else? Oh, I'm just through the I have the resolution book, and if it's okay, I'll just write in the names of councilors and deputy mayor. I'm going to first go. Are councilors okay with that? Unmute or shake your head.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. And I think there's only one Christian. Yours there's a Dauphin Kings deferment of payment, and I won't put your name on that one. Okay. We acknowledge that the land on which we gather is Treaty 2 land known as First Nations territory, homeland of the Anishinaabe, Ojibwe, and Métis Nation. Moved by Deputy Mayor Riel, seconded by Councillor Bellemare. Be it resolved that Council accepts the regular agenda as presented. Now, how am I going to know? Everybody in agreement? I guess.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Maybe how should we? I know you have to unmute and mute, but I guess when we're voting on a resolution, I should hear the people.
So
I would just recommend that some persons just say, if they disagree, just to say no. Otherwise, we're all in agreement.
Okay, that's a good one. Good, thank you. Moved by Councillor Juba and seconded by Councillor Eilers. Be it resolved that Council waives the reading and accepts and approves as circulated the minutes of the following meeting, that of the regular council meeting of March 23rd. I'll call the question. I hear no disapproval, so the motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Sticilo and Councillor Laughlin. Be it resolved that all items listed under item 5, consent agenda, be approved as follows and form part of these minutes. There's no action items. The filing items are from AMM of the June district resolutions. The deadline is, I think, May 31st. Member advisory, province invests nearly 8 million in flood protection for municipalities. Additional links on COVID-19. The news bulletins of March 20th and April 3rd. FCM. Postponing of the annual CN luncheon. FCM COVID key announcement for rural communities. Cancellation of the 2020 FCM conference and trade show. FCM Connect on March 24th and 31st. Manitoba media release COVID-19 bulletins. Manitoba backgrounder announcement and actions on COVID-19. Municipal relations COVID-19 municipal governance update, 2020 flood preparedness program and disaster finance assistance, cost sharing formula, infrastructure funding and operating grant, Mountain View School Division, News Digest March 9th, Connect 150 newsletter, Manitoba Agriculture, Growing Manitoba Ag, March 20th, Minister of Education, letter to Manitoba school authorities on COVID-19, Parks Canada, COVID-19 update for Riding Mountain National Park, Riding Mountain National Park COVID update on partners and stakeholders and access to the Wasagaming town site. Intermountain Watershed name change and operations. Prairie Mountain Health Advisory, the communications update, and Right Side Equipment, essential products and services. I'll call the questions. I hear no disapproval, so the motion is carried. Moved by Deputy Mayor Riel and seconded by Bellemare. Be it resolved that Council accepts as information the following corporate report for the April 6, 2020 regular council meeting and that of Deputy City Manager. Go ahead, Deputy City Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The city manager was away for a portion of last week, so I'll be presenting to council tonight. Much like the city manager's previous report, a majority of my time in the last 2 weeks continue to be focused on the evolving COVID-19 virus outbreak. So I'm currently reporting to council from my office for this meeting as we host our first virtual council meeting. We are very fortunate to have the technological means to continue with government operations during this time of physical distancing. I can say that our ICT manager, Justin Tokarczuk, has been very busy these last few weeks, ensuring all our technology needs are met, and a few of us have learned a thing or two as well. In the most recent public health order issued by the province, which came into effect on April 1st, Manitoba implemented many restrictions to reduce the spread of COVID-19 in our province. City of Dauphin facilities continue to operate, but have been altered to comply with physical distancing limitations. Until further notice, City Hall and the City Shop remain closed to the general public. Staff continue to be available by phone and email, and customer service remains a priority. For those needing to make payments, we accept cash and check through our drop box at City Hall, or payments can be made through your bank. To follow the recommendations by Manitoba Health, staffing has undergone changes as of April 2nd to remain operational with a smaller number of employees. We have worked with staff at City Hall to stagger work hours. Some staff are working from home 1 to 3 days per week, with senior management having the greatest capability to work remotely, and worked out flex time arrangements for those with childcare needs. This has reduced staff at City Hall by at least 4 people at any given time. We appreciate how flexible our staff and their families have been to these changes and we are doing our best to stay connected during a time when this can be very challenging. The city manager and I continue to attend regional daily teleconferences held by municipal relations. Representatives from regional health authorities, Office of the Fire Commissioners, Conservation and Climate, and other government departments provide daily reports and allow for a questions period with the municipalities. Previously, Emergency Measures Organization held teleconferences every Wednesday, but beginning April 1st, have joined the municipal relations calls each Wednesday to provide their update. We monitor these calls and daily provincial updates for any changes to provincial and health directives. Lastly, there are still interesting happenings unrelated to the pandemic at City Hall. We did a City of Dauphin clothing order for administration staff, and the overall consensus is they look great. I'm currently working on the lease renewal at the CN station, and we have 2 presentations from different groups presenting via teleconferences scheduled for this week. I'm looking forward to opening our doors to the public once this passes, but I am enjoying the opportunity to catch up on some deferred projects. Take care and wash your hands. And unless there are any quick questions, that concludes my report.
Any questions of the Deputy City Manager? Hearing none, I'll call the question. Hearing no disapproval, the motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Juba, seconded by Councillor Eilers. Be it resolved that Council accepts as information the following corporate report, that of the ICT manager. Now, Justin, did you want to say anything on that? No? Any questions on the report? Hearing none.
I was just going to add, Justin is muted. He doesn't have the ability to talk.
He's busy. Okay.
I just wanted to formally thank him for all the work he's done. It's been really helpful for everything that he does, and his patience is exceptional. Thank you, Justin.
Yeah. Yeah, I had the pleasure of using him today, and I wholeheartedly agree with you, Councillor Eilers. He was very, very patient with me. All in favor of his report? Hearing none, the motion is carried. Next by Councillor Stikilo, seconded by Councillor Lachlan. Be it resolved that Council accepts as information the following corporate report for the April 6, 2020 regular council meeting, that of the marketing coordinator. I'll call the question on that. Hearing no disapproval, motion is carried. Moved by Deputy Mayor Riel, seconded by Councillor Bellemare. Be it resolved the financial accounts having been examined by council be hereby authorized and approved. Checks 26345 to 26399, 55 checks for $253,422.96. There was no voided checks and no electronic payments. Some of the big ones, over 15,000, was to Brentag. They were for chemicals of $21,264.88. The Dauphin Public Library, the first and second quarter portion appropriations of $32,732.50. OSS for January and February, $37,714.18. And the Parkland Regional Library, the first and second quarter, $36,405.14. Any questions? Hearing none, I'll call the questions. And I hear no disapproval, so motion is carried to pay the bills. Moved by Councillor Riel, seconded by Councillor Bellemare. Be it resolved, the council accepts the Director of Public Works and Operations report. Bill, are you on the line?
I am here.
Do you want to say anything?
If I don't have to, if council has read my report and if they have any questions, I can absolutely answer any questions. I can read through the report if you want. It's up to you.
Maybe read through the report and just since we're on YouTube,
Okay.
well, go ahead.
All right. Thank you, Your Worship. So I start out my report by saying that my last report I talked about crazy temperatures, but that has nothing compared to the craziness that we're in right now. So everything's been a little bit up in the air, but we continue on. So last month I reported a few projects in progress. The HVAC replacement project is complete. However, in talking to the project lead, it appears that they have to replace the return air duct with a larger one, and they're holding off that until they can actually shut down the system for a couple days. So it'll be later in the spring when temperatures allow them to do that. The solar array project at the public workshop is complete, and we actually received the incentive check today for $50,320 for that system. AECOM is still working on the drainage study. I expect to see a draft conceptual plan for the storm drainage relief. So if council remembers, we added additional work to that contract, and that being once we looked at the underground model, there was just too many pipes that would have to be replaced. So we're looking for relief options where we can put in a couple of pipes here or there to relieve some of the issues in the storm drainage system. J.R. Cousin has completed a draft RFP for the lift station and water treatment plant upgrades. Now that project is being funded 50% by Manitoba Water Services Board. Utility foreman Jeff Hume and I held a video conference with Brett McCormick of J.R. Cousin and reviewed the report. Now we're just waiting for MWSB to comment on the RFP as well, and then it will be posted, I would say in the very near future. I held a video conference meeting with Patrick Hill from Triple Point Environmental and Brett McCormick of J.R. Cousins, who has been participating, as J.R. Cousin was the consultants who prepared our EAP for the lagoon. So if council remembers, we're looking at possibly, instead of using the Sager or the submerged attached growth reactor for treating ammonia out of the lagoon, looking to using a moving bed bioreactor, MBBR. And so we were doing a pilot over the winter to see the feasibility of that. And the main thing we were trying to prove is that this system would work when our water temperatures were at our coldest. Unfortunately, this winter was relatively mild for the majority of it. So we didn't get lagoon effluent temperatures down to 1 degree Celsius that we had hoped to. The lowest we got were 2.6 degrees Celsius. So because we haven't received any funding or heard that we're receiving any funding for the lagoon upgrades, Triple Point has asked if we could continue the pilot project again in the fall and go through fall into the winter again to see if we can get some of those cold temperatures. I have agreed to it, and I think it'll be some phenomenal or some great information, and will prove to us once and for all that we can use it. Again, the MBBR is probably about $1 million cheaper than the Sager system if it works. So a significant savings for us if we can go with that route when we do the lagoon upgrades. Attended several meetings. I'm currently working on an RFP for a replacement upgrade of the heating system in the Public Works building. Last year, we were issued an order by Manitoba Hydro to deal with our infrared heating system that's in the shop. Apparently it no longer meets code requirements. So we went to a bunch of local contractors, but we got such varied responses and varied costs that we decided that it would be best if we do an RFP, come up with a solution so that everybody's, giving us the best of the best kind of thing. So prepared a safe work procedure for staff as a result of the COVID-19 provincial recommendations for screening and social distancing. This would only be used in an emergency situation. So in other words, we're not presently doing any routine maintenance going into people's houses or buildings or those kind of things. The only time we would go in is if there's an emergency, and the safe work procedure and the screening would go into effect at that point. Attended the MWWA annual conference in February, and I attended the Alberta Water and Wastewater Operators Association seminar in March. Both were great, lots of operators there. The AWWA conference, the final day and a half were canceled thanks to COVID-19 as well. So I didn't get to see the whole conference there, but it was good experience anyhow. And finally, we're in the process of upgrading or integrating our financial software with GIS, as well as soon as that's done, we'll be moving into installing the asset management modules and getting those set up in our financial software as well. So, and I had a few staycation days in the last month or so because we can't go anywhere anyhow. So that's my report. And if anybody has any questions, like I said, I will try and answer them.
Any questions of Bill?
I just have one question. Bill, when you're talking about upgrading the heating in the shop, are you looking at the whole shop or the office part, or what's involved with that project?
So we're talking the shop part where we store the equipment in. So the office part and the part where we store all the trucks. If you've been out there, I know you have. So we have office, then we would store all the vehicles, the trucks and the vans and everything, and then we have the mechanic shop and the larger equipment in that end. That end down there has what are called infrared heaters, because they can bring the heat up very quickly when we open the big doors to get equipment in, either for the mechanics or for storage. They're saying that we don't have enough makeup air coming into the building for those heaters because they basically exhaust into the building. So we have to figure out, do we replace the entire thing and put something different in, or do we put in makeup air system in conjunction with these heaters, and what our best options are. So we're obviously not authorities on this, so we're going to leave it to the authorities to give us the best options, and then we'll look and see how those fit into our budget.
Any
Thank
other
you.
questions? Hearing none, I'll call the questions. Anybody disapprove? Hearing none, motion carried. Moved by Councillor Juba, seconded by Councillor Eilers, be it resolved that Council accepts as information the following engineering department report, that of the construction and maintenance foreman. It's been sort of nice for them. There's been a few breaks, but any questions? Call the question. Hearing no disapproval, motion carried. Moved by Councillor Stakilo, seconded by Councillor Loughlin, be it resolved that Council accepts as information the minutes and reports of the following committees: the Intermountain Watershed District Board meetings of January 8th and February 4th, 2020. Call the question. I hear no disapproval, so motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Stakilo, seconded by Councillor Loughlin. Whereas the City of Dauphin passed the accommodation tax bylaw 08/2019 with a effective date of March 1st, 2020, and whereas the city recognizes the COVID-19 pandemic is negatively affecting the tourism industry, be it resolved that due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the city of Dauphin has reviewed the accommodation tax bylaw 08/2019 and will revise the effective date to January 1st, 2021. Further be it resolved that this revision will be done through rescinding the accommodation tax bylaw 08/2019 and issuing a new bylaw with a revised effective date. And that's coming up in the bylaw section of the meeting. And any councillors have any comments on this? Administration? Hearing none, I'll call the question. Hearing no disapproval, the motion is carried. Moved by Councillor Eilers, seconded by Councillor Juba. Whereas COVID-19 is a serious health threat and the province of Manitoba declared a state of emergency on April 20th, 2020 to protect the public and reduce the spread of the virus. And whereas the city of Dauphin is monitoring and assessing all recommendations and orders from the province of Manitoba and public health in relation to COVID-19. And whereas public health is recommending preventive measures such as increasing physical space distance between people, including avoiding high-touch areas and popular gathering places, such as public play structures and parks. Be it resolved that council closes all municipal playgrounds, including Vermilion Park Playground, the Kerr Avenue Playground east of Kerr Avenue, Kirby Park, corner of Kirby and Hetterly, Canet Park, corner of 5th Avenue Southwest and 2nd Street Southwest, McDonald's Playground at the Rec Complex, 200 1st Street Southeast, the Park Crescent Playground, West End Playground, corner of Railway Avenue and William Street, and the D-Town Plaza Skate Park until further notice to prevent the spread of COVID-19. And this was the rec department. We had a meeting this morning and they are awaiting the approval of this resolution.
Just a question, Mayor Dohan.
Yeah.
I noticed that the school playgrounds are already posted. So are they waiting for this motion and then they will post signs as well, or have they posted signs already about this?
You know, I don't know. I know we're looking after the city, and I'm sure the schools have done theirs. I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
Yes, I
Yes.
can confirm that, Al. The schools have posted in their playgrounds.
Okay, good.
Okay,
So,
but the rec hasn't posted yet, right? Because someone was telling me over the weekend that someone was playing in one of these playgrounds, and I was just wondering if we had put any signs up yet.
not yet. Soon as they, probably tomorrow they'll do it.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Call the question. All in favor or disapproval? Hearing none, motion carried. Moved by Councillor Bellemare. Seconded by Deputy Mayor Riel. Whereas council is in receipt of a memo dated March 27, 2020 from the Director of Public Works and Operations recommending that the hours of operation for the waste disposal site be revised to meet the requirements of having a certified operator on site. Be it resolved that council approves the hours of operation for the waste disposal site as follows, effective May 1st, 2020. Monday, 8:30 to 12 p.m., Tuesday, 8:30 a.m. to 4 o'clock p.m., Wednesday, same, Thursday, 8:30 a.m. to 7 p.m., Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m., Saturday, 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m., and Sunday is closed. And yeah, it never had on the motion Sunday closed. I just want to put it here in writing. Any questions? So now we have certified operators on site. So I'll call the question. Hearing no disapproval, motion carried. Moved by Deputy Mayor Riel, seconded by Councillor Bellemare. Be it resolved that council accepts as information a memorandum dated April 3rd, 2020 from the city manager outlining CNR gifted CN Park to the city of Dauphin in 2017 as part of their commemoration of Canada 150. But through the subdivision process, it was discovered that part of CN Park that the city had already developed and could not be transferred to the city of Dauphin due to its proximity to the tracks. Further, be it resolved that council accepts as information an agreement from CN entitled Print Substitution, which provides for a 20-year lease of a small piece of CN land adjacent to CN Park to be used as part of CN Park for the consideration of $1,000 lump sum for those 20 years. Oh, that's what, $200 a year? That's pretty good. Further, be it resolved that council authorizes the city manager to sign and seal the document on behalf of the city of Dauphin. Any questions? Hearing none, I'll call the question. And hearing no disapprovals, motion is passed. Moved by Councillor Juba, seconded by Councillor Eilers. Whereas the Dauphin Kings Hockey Club leases agricultural land jointly owned by the City of Dauphin and the RM, with the yearly lease payment due on April 1st of each year. Be it resolved that council accepts as information correspondence dated March 23rd, 2020 from Dean Cooley, President of the Dauphin Kings Hockey Club, requesting the City of Dauphin and the RM of Dauphin defer the requirement for the Kings to submit their payment on their agricultural land lease from April 1st, 2020 to later in the fall after harvest to help alleviate financial pressures due to the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic on the hockey club. Further, be it resolved that council accepts as information a memorandum dated April 2nd from the Deputy City Manager outlining the above information, and that the RM of Dauphin has passed a resolution deferring the payment to November 1st, 2020, and recommending the City of Dauphin to do the same. Further, be it resolved that council agrees with the Deputy City Manager's recommendation and defers the 2020 agricultural land lease payment from the Dauphin Kings Hockey Club for jointly owned land by the city and RM to November 1st, 2020. Any questions? call the question. Hearing no disapproval, motion carried. Moved by Councillor Bellemare, seconded by Deputy Mayor Riel. Whereas the City of Dauphin provides a building incentive that allows for 50% rebate of tipping fees at the city landfill for demolition waste when an existing residential dwelling is demolished and replaced with a new dwelling of comparable or greater value. Be it resolved that Council accepts this information correspondence dated September 5th, 2019 from John Ury, property owner of 27 Railway Avenue, requesting a building incentive of 50% rebate on tipping fees at the city landfill for the demolition of the structure at 27 Railway Avenue with its intention to replace the structure with 2 duplex dwellings. Further be it resolved, Council accepts as information a memorandum dated April 2nd, 2020 from the Economic Development Manager recommending the Council approves the request with the following conditions. The dwelling construction shall comply with the zoning bylaw use and bulk table and Manitoba Building Code. If the dwelling is comparable or greater value than the existing dwelling, the rebate will be provided once final occupancy is granted. Any questions? Hearing no disapproval, motion is carried. And this is the motion, the first reading of the bylaw rescinding the former accommodation tax and setting the new start date of the collecting of the tax to January 1st, 2021. Be it resolved that bylaw 07/2020 being a bylaw of the City of Dauphin for the purpose of imposing a tax on accommodations to support tourism, economic development, recreation, and active living be now read a first time. Any questions? Any disapprovals? Hearing none, motion is passed. Moved by Councillor Sticilo and Councillor Laughlin. Be it resolved that Council accepts as information the invitations listed below. That one is Canada National Ukrainian Festival events of July 31st, August 2nd for the mayor to attend, and the FCM Sustainable Communities Conference, October 20th and the 22nd, 2020. That has not been canceled, but I cannot attend, so I think Councillor Sticilo indicated. Did you, Councillor Sticilo?
Oh, hold on.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sorry about that. Yes, I did indicate that I can attend that, yes.
So please register, Devin, okay?
You bet.
Okay. Hearing it, I'll call the question. Any disapprovals? None. Motion carried. Now, we have councillor privileges, and I'll start with, from the bottom of the list, Councillor Lachlan.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll keep it short and sweet today. Pretty straightforward. On March 23rd, I attended the regular council meeting at City Hall. On March the 30th, I attended the planning and priorities meeting at City Hall as well. And that's pretty much it. Just a lot of social distancing between then and now. Do want to mention quickly, though, before we go on, and a few people have mentioned it throughout the night, but just want to say a big job well done to Justin Tokarczuk there for doing the streaming on the YouTube and getting everything up and running when it comes to Microsoft Teams and everything. He's done a really good job. So thanks, Justin, for that, and looking forward to having all the meetings on YouTube. They have been posted in previous weeks, so you can go onto the City of Dawson's YouTube channel and check them all out. But at least going forward, it'd be cool to see them all go live, not only on YouTube but on Facebook as well. So thanks again, Justin, and that's it for my report.
So you're indicating we should rent out the council chambers? Joke.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, Councillor Stakilo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. For myself, going back a little bit, March 10th, March 18th, Dauphin Neighborhood Renewal, March 19th, an airport board meeting, March 23rd, council meeting, March 30th, a planning and priorities meeting, and then earlier today, a Dauphin rec meeting, and all of those were held, via either phone call or online using video conferencing. So just want a big shout out to administration and staff and to Justin, of course, a single out to Justin for all the hard work in the background getting things set up, and just a big appreciation. And that ends it for me. Thanks.
Thank you. Councillor Eilers.
Yes. Oops. I just wanted the same thing. I had the city council meeting on the 23rd and planning priority on March 30th. I attended a Zoom meeting actually this past week. It was on community safety that they have all across Canada. And it was interesting to hear what Regina, Calgary, Edmonton, and a lot of the communities are doing. They were combining all the committees, like anybody involved with food banks, Salvation Army, Friendship Center. And so they had committees to combine the efforts so there wasn't a duplication, and that everybody was well looked after, as well as the religious groups and youth groups. So it was interesting to see how they had congregated, and they set up where the deliveries for all these different places in the communities were done by out of work workers. So they were able to assist in the development of this. There was also talk and encouraging to make sure that there was social distancing. And that's one of the things that individuals still are in a lot of places are not following through with social distancing. And they're putting in place different means to make sure. And I think everybody's seeing on the news that they're giving out fines in a lot of the communities if individuals aren't respecting the social distancing. I also had a Zoom meeting with the Dietitians of Canada, and that was again working with food security issues and different things, and they have put proposals to the government of things that should be implemented now and maybe down the road. And I'd like to thank all the grocery stores, the pharmacies, all the places that have put all these means to make sure that there's social distancing and also protecting their workers. I think it's been a real big effort by our community. And so I'd like to thank all the people involved and all the frontline workers who are still making sure that we can get groceries, that we can get our medication, and that we still have healthcare ways to access healthcare. Then that ends my remark. And I just said, everybody keep safe.
Thank you, Councillor Juba. Councillor Juba, are you there? Unmute, mute.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. March 9th, attended regular city council meeting, City Hall. March the 12th, I attended AVOP policy management meeting or policy development meeting at City Hall. That's related to airport. On the 19th, I attended Dauphin Regional Airport Authority committee meeting, and the March 23rd council, and the March 30th planning and priorities. I only have one community event. I just want to thank the Fire Chief Cam Avery, the Dauphin Fire Department, the RCMP EMS. They had a drive-by last Thursday, April the 2nd, past the Dauphin Regional Health Center, and it was really well received by those who were in attendance to watch that. And I just want to thank all those people for their thoughtfulness for the frontline workers that are working at the health center. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Juba. Councillor Bellemare.
I'm going to just say ditto to a lot of what Councillor Eiler said. I went to the same 3 meetings that she did, and she gave a wonderful summary of all of those. And also just saying a special thank you to all these people that are helping us get through this. So we've mentioned Justin and his skills, and I want to reaffirm that. And we are aware of, the cashiers, the truckers, the healthcare workers. We could not have the level of services that we have right now if it weren't for those people. And we're just, I think, all very truly appreciative of that. One new community thing that I did, I've become part of the 2020 Summer Games Executive, and figuring out that whole operations piece. That's the section that Mike Seversko and I are co-chairing, and that concludes my report.
Thank you, Councillor Bellemare. And Deputy Mayor Riel.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. March 23rd, I attended the council meeting by phone. March 30th, I attended our PNP meeting virtually. I've been working daily in the community since the isolation has started, and just want to say that it's incredible to see the amount of effort that people are putting in regards to the social distancing. We've got many people, our seniors, who are cleaning carts diligently to do their part. So thank you to everyone. We have wonderful commitment of people in this community. I've also had numerous inquiries from citizens about what to do in the event of people who are not following protocol in regards to social distancing. So I did follow up with our MLA, Brad Michaleski, and the RCMP, and I continue to answer questions from our public in regards to that. If you're unsure of what the social distancing regulations are, please refer to our city website, as well as to the Government of Manitoba website. That's all I have for now. Thank you.
Thank you. I echo all the platitudes from councillors. The just observation, our community is for the most part abiding by the emergency measures, guidelines of social distancing, And it's great to see, and the more we work together on this, the faster, hopefully, the emergency measures will be taken off, the flattening of the curve as they always talk, and we'll get back to regular business. The faster, the better. Today's I attended the rec board meeting by virtual, by the virtual video conferencing, and it went quite well. And the rec board is monitoring activity very much. They're under quite a bit of pressure because the activities are being canceled, and so they're monitoring costs very diligently, and they'll take appropriate action when financial, as the financial revenues do not come in, they'll take appropriate action in canceling activities and maybe deploying staff to other areas. This council, be it resolved that the council, moved by Councillor Riel, seconded by Councillor Bellemare. Be it resolved that the council meeting be recessed at 5:52. Hearing no objections, motion carried. So we'll continue on with the committee of the whole, but we have to disconnect from, I think,